Democrats blasting Mitch McConnell for blocking bills on election security, framing him as the, quote, #1 ally of Russia, saying it's, quote, stupid to have the view that states have the right to have poor election security. No state has the right to have voting machines that can be easily hacked. That's Ted Lieu in California. So what is really going on here? Good faith election security or something else? Something else is what Jason Chaffetz suggests and has written about. Fox News contributor and author of the new book, Power Grab. Chris Hahn is here to answer to him, former aide to Senator Chuck Schumer and syndicated radio host. Good to have both of you here tonight. So, Jason, quickly just explain to us, what do you think's going on here?
I think the Democrats are doing everything opposite of voter security. You need to authenticate who that person is. The bill, H.R. 1, House Resolution 1, that they passed in the House is sitting in the Senate, does not allow for that verification. It does not allow lieutenant governors and secretaries of state to cross-reference with the Postal Service and others to make sure that people are only voting once. It publicly finances campaigns at a tune of 6 to 1. So you have to pull money out of your pocket and publicly finance these congressional campaigns. It does allow same-day voter registration, but without the provisional ballots, so they get into the mainstream. But authentication is the key to this, and the Democrats are not allowing that to happen, and that's why Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump are doing the right thing and standing in the way.
That this wouldn't allow states to double-check their voter rolls and just make sure that the people who are voting are actually who they say they are. That's what you're talking about, right?
It also allows for vote harvesting, so somebody can come pick up your ballot and turn it in for you without an election official. It doesn't allow the Secretary of State to authenticate who that person is.
Chris, that sounds a little troubling.
Well, there used to be a time in Congress when we saw a problem, like right now we have an election security problem that all of our intelligence officials agree upon. They say that Russia and other foreign hostile powers are trying to influence our elections and hack into our voting systems, and Congress would try to fix that. And if one party made a proposal to try to fix it and had some things right and some things they didn't like, they got together and they talked about it. Now, Mitch McConnell won't even bring it up for a debate. It won't be voted on. We won't see anything. We'll have op-eds written by people like Jason, maybe good meeting, maybe not. We'll have other things going on. We'll have people calling it communism and vote harvesting and trying to consolidate power, but we're not getting to a solution.
So
we have a problem in this country. It has been agreed upon by everybody that there are people trying to hack it.
But you know what? Here's why people don't like what's going on in Congress, right? Because what they want is for the folks on the Hill to be able to provide better election security and figure out a way to make sure that people can't hack into our systems. But what happens is that both sides are going to accuse the other side of making these changes to benefit them somehow electorally. So why doesn't Senator McConnell, Jason Chaffetz, just take a look at this bill and say, this won't pass in the Senate and that part won't pass in the Senate, but here's where we agree. Let's work on it.
Right.
Well, let's start with the first thing. Chris, can you agree that we should authenticate who that voter is, maybe through some identification? Because Democrats can't even get through that door, let alone do all the other things. There's 30 different provisions to totally change the election cycle in that House resolution.
All right, so Chris, is that something that you can agree on, that people should have to prove who they are when they go to vote, just like when you take an airplane and everything else that you do in life?
Yeah. Exactly.
I think that's a fake problem, and Jason knows who doesn't have ID and who does.
Everyone can get ID.
And that's part of why the Republican Party fails, because they don't have ideas. They want to just keep people from voting.
Go ahead, Jason.
You don't know that people who live in cities generally don't have driver's license and other forms of pictures ID.
If you're not going to authenticate
the vote, if you're not going to authenticate
who the person is,
you could authenticate it by your signature.
I don't think anybody can hear either one of you. Jason, quick, and then Chris, I'll give you a chance to rebut.
You have to authenticate, and you have to allow these secretaries of state to validate who these voters are. I think that's fair. It's
reasonable. Chris, why is that not reasonable? And then I got to go.
Nobody's Anthony Michael Hall from the Breakfast Club lying just so they can vote. Nobody does that in America. There's been countless studies that say it, Jason. It's a problem that you're trying to create to scare your voters.
About Russia,
what is trying to happen is the Russians are trying to hack our election, and so are the Chinese, and Mitch McConnell better get off his butt and fix it.
Well, that wasn't very nice.
Well, that's why they shouldn't do electronic voting. They should have actual
I think you could put that
ballots.
in a more polite way, Chris. Thank you very much, guys. Good to see you tonight.
He should get off his keister and do something about it.
A little better.